I don't think explosive, bro. Explosive, y'all do know explosive wave was one stock on BT3, right? It was only one. Even it going up to two, like that's them. You know what I'm saying? That's an upgrade. I give them that. I think that was a good change. But three is crazy. But I ain't gonna lie, I agree with majority of the stuff you saying in the video. I think that, like I said before, I thought pre-patch was better in general. It felt more dragon ballish, and when it comes to the tracking, I think the tracking was really just I think that's a bug, bro. Because it's impossible. Because put it like this, not only is the tracking messed up, you literally go through niggas' bodies, so that has to be a bug, bro. Oh, so they be doing the shadow patches early in the morning, bro. Bro, why? Now in my head it's like, why do shadow patch? Like, just let us know what you changing, bro. It's like it's a secret. Like it's a secret, my nigga. These motherfuckers trying to keep secrets from us. Bitch, we paid for the game. What you keeping secrets for?
What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Christian here again with another video, and this time, as you see, DonCoolio has reacted to one of my videos here. And of course, because the video is only 8 minutes long, I brought up a lot of topics, and there's still some lingering questions about what I mean by certain things. So I'm going to make this reaction or response video so that I can answer some of those questions. To be specific about what version of the game this is right after the first patch. This is when Z-Burst Dash first got nerfed. And, you know, at this point of the game, combo tracking had not been nerfed yet, and sidesteps were still not as strong as they are now, okay? So specifically, that's why I think this version of the game is better, but it's not better in every way, okay? So perception was still too strong, and the revenge counter was still unusable. It was still buggy, so it's easy to punish, okay? So certain things about the game were not better, but in my opinion, the combo tracking and the neutral game was. So I'm gonna answer some of the questions that DonCoolio brought up. So let's get started.
I mean, what was changed though? Like he said they changed the sidestep speed. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know about that, bro. This nigga know something we don't know. Maybe he just going based off how the game feel. You know, I don't know. I ain't never know they was doing shadow patches. I'm not gonna lie.
So first of all, let me explain what a shadow patch is. Shadow patches are basically patches that are done in secret. They're usually like minute changes to certain mechanics like sidesteps or combo tracking, stuff that's like barely noticeable. But Bandai does it in such a sloppy way that it's very noticeable because they change like 2 to 3 mechanics at a time. So then the combination of those things is what you feel in the game, and it's very apparent. It's like Bandai thinks we're stupid or something. Like they'll change something and they'll pretend like they didn't change it, where it's really right there in your face. And I'm gonna present some evidence here, probably in a video.
Sidestep is incredibly strong. It could get you out of most situations, and in my opinion, it's a little bit too strong. And I'm trying to find a counter, and you know, I haven't found a good answer at this point. As you see, I'm just answering with my own sidestep. Is the only thing I think kind of works.
But basically, in the base game, sidesteps were not as strong. You could only sidestep like charged attacks or basically slower attacks, basically. Combos coming from the front, rush chains that come in bunches, you could not sidestep because the second or third hit in your rush chain will track your movement. So basically, like maybe you could dodge the first punch, but the second and third hit will track you better, and you will eat that combo to your face if you try to sidestep a normal combo. Which is why when you see clips of the old gameplay like I presented in my video, you didn't see me just sidestep regular rush chains because it was just not effective, okay? And sometimes the shadow patches are so apparent because they are very noticeable mechanics. For example, the lift strike follow-ups change from the base game. If you remember in the base game when you got off a lift strike and you would do a regular attack afterwards, it would create a hard knockdown scenario, and your character would drop all the way to the ground. So what they did was that they replaced the lift strike hard knockdowns to basically sweep forced hard knockdowns, where if you do 2 heavy attacks of the same nature, you're forced a hard knockdown, whereas previously you had to lift strike and do your regular combos to the end to get the hard knockdown. you basically have to vanish 2 attacks or you get hard knockdown. That's too strong. And Bandai, I don't know why they made that change. No one asked for that change. They just keep changing things that we don't need.
You feel me? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think revenge counter should be as broken as it is, bro. Like 3 stock for revenge counter would be crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to disagree with you on that one, but let's see your reasoning though. I ain't gonna disagree without letting you say your piece. You feel me?
Now, I ain't gonna lie. When I made this video, the 3 skill point requirement to do a revenge counter, I got a little carried away. I ain't gonna lie. I agree with you. It's too much. 3 skill points for just a revenge counter is too much because there's a lot of ways to counter a revenge counter. I mean, you got perception. You could try to evade it with an elevator. You could try to sidestep it. There's a lot of ways to get around revenge counter. So in my opinion, 2 skill points is appropriate. But I will not go back on my explosive wave 3 skill point requirement. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain it right here. Okay. As we mentioned, revenge counter is 2 skill points, right? But it has a lot of counters. Basically, you could sidestep it, perception it, elevator it. There's a lot of stuff you could do against revenge counter. Okay. So 2 skill point requirement for that. I agree with you. Perfect. Okay. Now, there's this other move, explosive wave, which basically is better in every way than revenge counter, okay? In every way. It has a 360-degree radius. It basically comes out super quickly. There's really no way to really predict when it's going to come out. The move costs the same as a revenge counter, okay? That doesn't make sense to me. If you have revenge counter costing 2 and explosive wave is basically better in every single way, then there's no way that they should cost the same, right? That just makes sense. Like, okay, you're spending 2 skill points for a move that's clearly inferior. Why would you ever use it? So basically, there is no balance between explosive wave and revenge counter right now. It's like you mentioned in one of your videos. If I have an explosive wave, why would I ever use revenge counter? Because revenge counter can get basically exposed, while explosive wave basically can't. Now, I've seen people say, oh, well, why don't you just revenge counter the explosive wave? But let's be honest, like spending 2 skill points to counter a move that costs 2 skill points, at best, you're just getting a neutral scenario out of that, right? You're spending the amount of resources it takes to use the move. That's not a good answer. Whereas all the other basically defensive moves have a counter that doesn't cost skill points. For example, Wild Sense, you could just, time a vanish attack, and that counters it with no skill point being lost by the defender, right? Revenge counter, you could just perception, you spend 1 skill point, or you could just dodge it for free, right? So there's ways to dodge stuff for free, but explosive wave is the only one that you can't. Basically, you have to spend the 2 skill points to counter it. You could technically vanish it, but let's be honest, nobody's vanishing explosive waves consistently. It's not happening even at a Z rank level. So right now, explosive wave is just too freaking strong, and it gets to the point where there's characters that have 6 skill points with basically you have 3 explosive waves in the chamber at the end of matches, which is basically just guarantees that you're gonna win that match. It's just too much right now. It just stops the gameplay dead in its tracks all the time. And I'm gonna provide an example here so you guys can see.
Y'all are gonna stop getting away scot-free, and you're gonna see right here I have 6 skill points, right? And Pimposaurus Rex is not a bad player. Like, he's basically on my level. We go back and forth, but at this point there is nothing he could do because I have 6 skill points. I have like 3 explosive waves in the chamber, and basically I could just get the charge really fast for free and just zone him out, and he can't do shit about it. And if he ever even attempts to open me up, I'm just gonna explosive wave, and there's nothing that he could do. And that's some BS. We need a nerf to explosive wave. We need explosive wave to cost at least 3 skill points, and even then I feel like that's a little too cheap. But I don't want to nerf it to the ground. It is fine, but come on, let's be honest, guys. This is not fair. Explosive wave should not be as strong as it is, and y'all need to start getting called out.
Like, once you have an explosive wave, it doesn't matter if you're fighting a 10 DP character. If you have 3 explosive waves and they don't, you're gonna win that match. Like, it is what it is, unless you're like way better than the opponent. And in close matches, it just wins you the game basically for free. Like, I don't think explosive wave should be that strong, and it needs to cost 3 at this point. Now, you did say that Tenkaichi 3 had explosive wave for 1 skill point, and I respect that, but Tenkaichi 3 did not have revenge counter. Okay, so revenge counter is kind of a replacement for that 1 skill point explosive wave, but it has its counters. So in my opinion, revenge counter is appropriately valued at 2 skill points, but explosive wave should not cost the same because it's superior in every way. That's my argument for explosive wave.
By you saying that, do you think that Bandai meant to make the tracking as trash as it is? Or do y'all think that, or do you specifically, Christian, do you think that they did this on purpose? Or do you think it was unintentional? You know what I'm saying? Do you think it was unintentional, or do you think they did this shit on purpose? That's my question.
So the question is, did Bandai actually mean to nerf combo tracking? Yes, they actually did mean to nerf combo tracking, but we all know Bandai is the sloppiest developer in the gaming industry. Of course, they didn't playtest their patch. Of course. So they just bugged combo tracking. So yes, did they mean to nerf it? Yes, but they went too far because they added a bug on top of that. So not only did they nerf it, they also bugged it. So now whenever you basically sidestep too much or vanish, the combo tracking just goes off all haywire, and the opponent just basically just shoots a combo to the left. That combo is supposed to track your opponent and hit them, but instead it's just missing right now, which is why it's so hard to hit each other. When you look at the previous gameplay, the gameplay I got on screen, you don't see that happening. Like, we're not missing each other. We're constantly attacking each other. We're constantly on the offense, doing damage to each other, and matches are just way faster paced. Now it's just a freaking just sidestep miss fest. Like, everyone just misses. Everyone's just like hoping and praying to God that you get a sweep so that you can start your offense. And that is just terrible in my opinion.
Personally, it seemed like it's a bug, so I don't think they did it on purpose.
Track a lot better.
Yeah, so it is a bug. It is a bug, but they actually did mean to buff sidestep and nerf combo tracking. They just went too far because they messed it up, just like they mess anything that they change. In fact, the new lift strikes, they messed up. I don't think that it was intentional that you're just able to link your combo into a lift strike finish. Like, that is a bug also. And the reason I say that is because not every character can do it. It's just certain characters that can link their lift strike combos into regular combos while others can't. I feel like that's a bug also because they just don't play test their patches. Like, they're just super unprofessional and sloppy.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was one of the first people on Sparking Zero to really like showcase how good it could be if you knew how to sidestep. But I don't know what happened, but it seemed like once people started seeing me doing that, niggas just started spamming sidesteps. You know, I never was a sidestep spammer. I was a sidestep reader. Like, I know how to read your movement with sidesteps, you feel me? But now it's to the point where if a nigga is spamming sidestep, you can't do nothing. The only thing you can do to neutralize them is hit them with some key blasts, bro. That's it. I mean,
and that's the thing. Funny enough, we did fight some matches back then. I remember I was playing like Perfect Cell and you were playing Trunks. And you were sidestepping and you were, planning out your sidesteps. But after that, they buffed sidestep like to a crazy degree where you could just like link sidesteps into more sidesteps. And there was, like you said, there's nothing you could do against that except key blast. In fact, I used to go to, when they added quick play to the game, I used to go to quick play and basically just lose on purpose to try to find a counter to sidestep. And the only thing that I found that you could do is just basically just like hit them with key blast and hope that it disrupts their movement, and they would still be able to sidestep after the key blast. It was insane. And guess what? They realized it was insane because they nerfed sidestep with another shadow patch I think like a month later. So the sidesteps are actually not as strong as they were after they buffed them after this version of the game. So if we're going to be honest, we've played like 4 to 5 different versions of this game by now. And some people still say that they should patch the game more. I don't understand that. It's probably because they're not paying attention, because the game has been patched to all hell. It's been patched like 6 times. We've seen the game like change constantly during these like couple months. So
because I mean, at the end of the day, you just gonna be in a sidestep war, and then that's gonna turn into a vanish, like a sidestep vanish war. It's just too much, bro. It's just too much.
And in my opinion, like I said in the video, they should have just left the actual movement mechanics alone. Like, these sidesteps were functional. They were good for basically dodging charged hits. You could dodge like vanish attacks. stuff like that, but you could not just dodge rush chains coming from the front. Like, that is too much, too strong. In fact, I have a video on my channel saying sidestep is the new perception. Is back when sidesteps got completely buffed to all hell. And I was right, man. I was right. Like, even Bandai realized they were too much, which is why they nerfed them later on.
I feel like now revenge counter is too spammable. That's just my opinion. It's like the only thing you can do to get away from revenge counters is just like get somebody back as soon as possible. If you can't get that back,
just like you said, revenge counter. I can tell you why you think that revenge counter should be kind of the same as it was. Is because have you even noticed like good players when they get off a gut punch, you know what they do is like they'll slow down. They literally just stop in their tracks and just kind of just move slowly to the left, just waiting for the opponent to revenge counter. Basically, is just slowing the gameplay down constantly. Like, even when a revenge counter is not used, it's already slowing the game because you're expecting one. And in this version of the game, you're not expecting a revenge counter because revenge counter was not functional, which means now you get to be faster offensively. Meaning, if I get a gut punch off, immediately I'm attempting to attack you again. I don't have to wait to see if you're going to attempt a revenge counter. You know what I mean? And it just created a more dynamic feeling game. Whereas now it's basically just like the game is always being interrupted either by the expectation of a revenge counter or the use of one or an explosive wave, which means like people are not throwing hands as much as they were in this version of the game.
and then they still got that exploit where niggas can like basically do the same exact thing that we could do before, where somebody revenge counter, you could immediately start hitting them if they revenge counter right in your face. I feel like revenge counter should.
And see, that's the thing. Like, that in itself is a good thing. Actually, the exploited revenge counter kind of fixes what I'm saying, because if you know how to do it, basically it speeds the gameplay back up, which is why you see like Demon Joe exploiting revenge counter every time he gets hit by one, because it just speeds the gameplay up. But the thing is, like, it creates a knowledge gap because it's not intentional. It's a bug. Basically, the people who don't know how to use that are getting killed by the players who do know how to use that. So
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I never used resets back then, and I think that was really why, because it just seemed like it was so easy and people just used to spam the sweets, bro. People just used to spam that, bro. You can't really do that now. You gotta have it picture perfect. Like, it has to be perfect time. And if you behind somebody and you reset them, you had to be perfect. Like, you had to know that time and like perfectly in your mind. And even sometimes if you know it, they still could turn around, they still can move out the way, so it's not the same. Which I don't think reset should be in the game anyway. Like, y'all hear me out. I don't think that should be in the game anyways, bro.
now, as far as resets, I do believe some resets should be in the game, but resets should be actual resets, not bugs in the game. I feel like the reason sweep resets work is because Bandai didn't appropriately, put the actual values together. Like, a sweep into an attack, regardless if you time it or not, should not be a reset. You know what I mean? But there are actual resets. Like, for example, if I'm hitting you with a combo and I just stop hitting you and let you move, and then I re-engage and restart my combo and I get you, that should be an actual reset, because I took the risk of allowing you to attempt an escape, and basically I got you again. It's like, to the channel, Christian here again with another video, and this time we're gonna be talking about players who leave negative comments after quick play. Now, Topo's interesting. Topo's I believe he's competition for Frieza, but unlike Frieza, he gets health back in the transformation, which I believe Frieza should get as well.
Oh, I'm afraid victory for you is rather...
But the current resets where you just sweep and time it, that is not an actual reset. That's just Bandai fucking up their values of when a reset should count or not, okay? Another reset that is kind of, fair in my opinion, if I do a rolling hammer, I turn you around, and most people, what they do is like they'll attempt to face you as fast as possible. Like, some players know how to basically turn around instantly. I don't know how they do that, but some players do. If you do that, you moved. So basically you had the opportunity to escape and you chose to turn around. that is an actual reset, which means if I hit you with a punch into flying kicks and restart my combo, that should reset the combo because I gave you the option to escape and you didn't. You chose to face me. So that is a reset. Okay. The sweep resets, they're not an actual reset because you can't escape. You don't have the option to escape. If the player times it, you're just stuck there. And it is what it is. They should not be in the game.
I don't know what Bandai be doing. Like that's the question. That's the question of the decade, bro. What is Bandai thinking when they do certain stuff? Because they obviously can't be thinking about the consumer. The only thing they think about is this, bro. And I guess making it to where you can spam sidestep, make it easier for garbage cans to get on here and just spam sidesteps. You know, only higher tier players, you know, people that have played against sidesteppers a lot know how to deal with them. You know, and even then sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes they get me.
And that is correct. What you just assumed is correct. Bandai is basically trying to make the game more accessible. That's why they buff sidestep and nerfed offense all the time. Because basically the people who can get offense off the best are the good players. Like you mentioned in the first example, you used to be a sidestep reader. Like you would plan out your sidesteps. They don't want that. Like they want everybody to just be able to spam sidestep. And because it just makes it more accessible to everyone. You don't need skill to do that, right? And that is like originally when the game came out, honestly, like Revenge Counter was supposed to be a combo breaker for everyone. That's what Revenge Counter is for. It's to kind of give everyone the opportunity to get out of combos without having to resort to using super counters, which take actual skill. And if you notice that super counters were super easy to use as well, like you could just spam them. It's basically Bandai trying to make the game as accessible as possible with the least amount of skill possible because they want casual players on this game. They wanted to retain the bulk of the players, which is basically casual players, and they failed to do so because the game is just buggy. Like the game is not like, I'm gonna give you an example. The perfect game that is great for casuals and like good players as well is Smash Bros. Like Smash Bros, in my opinion, is like one of the best games of all time because it achieved that hard balance between like keeping the casual player on and giving enough skill-based stuff for these players that want to sweat to remain on the game. Like Smash Bros should be like the friggin' pinnacle of gaming. Like if you want to achieve like the perfect game as far as fighting games or party fighting games or whatever you want to call this, Smash Bros is the example. But you know, Bandai is not Sakurai, okay? Sakurai is the creator of Smash Bros. That man is like super detail oriented. Like he does not play about that franchise. Like he really cares. He's really on top of things about, you know, character balance. The character balance in that game is like superb. Like all the mechanics work as intended from the get-go. Like, bro, in order to achieve that, you have to be to that level. And Bandai obviously is just like extremely sloppy. They're never going to reach that level. And so I don't know why they even tried to do so. They should have just made the game as good as possible, but they're just trying to make it as accessible to make the most money possible.
This was the best version of the game.
You know, it's funny. They accidentally got to this point because like I mentioned, Bandai's like the game they made was so buggy. Like Revenge Counter was not supposed to be that weak. You know, like a lot of the intended game mechanics didn't work properly, which is why they accidentally made the game as offensive as it is. Because really, what they wanted to do was make it more defensive and give more defensive tools to casual players so that they could keep playing the game. But you know, they failed to do so because they didn't test it enough and they just rushed it out.
I still feel as though perception is busted. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That's still probably the most broken thing in the game. Outside.
I disagree with you there. I think perception is in a good spot. The only thing wrong with perception still is that it has like a big window. Basically, like if I sidestep once and attempt to hit you, you could still perception it. I feel like that is a little too much. But besides that, perception is in a great spot. It's risky to use. In fact, like if you use it too much, you do get exposed. So that's what we wanted, and I'm fine with that. I don't need it to be nerfed anymore, really. So I disagree with you there.
but they added hard knockdowns, forced hard knockdowns. Now,
that wasn't always in the game. I could have sworn that was in the game from off rip. Niggas just didn't like know how to do it till Woohoo said something. Not
Now, originally force hard knockdowns, there was only one way to do it. Basically, you could force a hard knockdown by doing a lift strike and ending your whole like rush chain after a lift strike. That would force a hard knockdown. But if you remember, super counter was so strong that it was rare that you could get that off. Whereas now it's like you only need 2 hits. You only need one sweep into another sweep, which makes it too strong because you basically got to vanish one of those or you're screwed basically.
It's getting to the point, bro. I think them niggas at Bandai know, like, cause listen, y'all. I done read the book of 40. I done read 48 Laws of Power, and in 48 Laws of Power, that shit say, all attention is good attention. All publicity is good publicity. So even though like we sit here and we talk shit about the game, bro, that bring more attention to the game. So I don't know, bro. Maybe they thinking like, I don't know. Like I'm just like, I know it don't really make sense, but I'm trying to figure out something because there's no way in hell they just keep changing shit that nobody.
Well, bro, if you think about it, that's why they released the game in an unfinished state because they know people gonna buy it regardless. You know what I mean? So really, you gotta blame the consumer because they keep buying these games that are unfinished. And then they know that even if the game is trash, the IP is so strong. Like Dragon Ball, Tenkaichi, like, bro, we were always gonna buy this game. It didn't matter. Like, it didn't really matter what they did with the game. We were gonna buy it just because of that. Dragon Ball, Tenkaichi, that name is just like so huge, right? So they didn't care that the game was unfinished. They're like, rush it out. They're going to buy it anyways, and we can fix it over time if we need to. And that's basically what they're trying to do. And like you said, in the modern era, it's almost expected for games to change. So you don't need to make a perfect game. The game is a work in progress always, even if the game is high quality. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Apex Legends. Apex Legends is an amazing first-person shooter, one of the best first-person shooters I've ever played. And when it came out, it was amazing. And it just got better over time, in my opinion. So even games that are already good get better over time. So by their logic, it's like the game's gonna improve anyways. The consumer base expects the game to change and improve anyways. So whatever you have, just rush it out. Just rush it out. They're gonna buy it. The IP is strong, the name is strong, and we're gonna improve the game over time, and we're gonna make our money back anyways.
Nobody asking them to change. Shit just don't make sense to me, bro. Y'all let me know what y'all think, cause
so in my opinion, Revenge Counter should cost 3, and maybe Explosive Wave should cost.
I gotta disagree with you there, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. That's crazy work, bro. I ain't gonna lie. They do that. That's trash.
Now, let me explain that. So Revenge Counter, like I mentioned, I feel like is appropriately valued at 2 skill points. I went too far in this video, but listen, man. Whenever I make a video like this is off the dome, bro. Like I cut on the mic, I get excited about certain topics, and I just flow. And you know what I mean? The Revenge Counter costing 3 is too much. But I will not go back on the Explosive Wave costing 3. Just because, I mean, if you think about it, Revenge Counter costs 2, and Explosive Wave is just better in every way compared to Revenge Counter. So in my opinion, it should cost 1 extra over Revenge Counter. The Tenkaichi 3, we didn't have Revenge Counter, so it made sense. And Explosive Wave technically is better in this game than it was in Tenkaichi 3 because we have basically forced amount of time to recover in this game, okay? Which it makes it really hard to basically counter Explosive Wave or even punish it.
We gonna make Explosive Wave 3 stock? Nah, bro. I can't let you say that one.
They just right now.
We can agree to disagree, but man, I'm gonna provide an example. You're gonna see what I mean. Like, you got 6 skill points and Explosive Wave, bro. You basically just count that match over. You know what I mean? It's a little too much.
Are just too prevalent.
This is why this game is unplayable. But like I said, there is no reason to be playing ranked. I advise everybody playing. Well, nah, I ain't gonna say everybody. If you want to cheese, go to ranked. If you want to be somebody that's playing like a whole bitch, be my guest. Go to ranked, bro.
Hey, I agree with you, and that is why I post all my videos are recorded in quick play. That is why, because I don't play ranked anymore. I do not want to just resort to sweep resetting and doing all sorts of like cheese strategies. For example, I don't even play this character on quick play, like my Bootangs, because I optimize him for rank. Basically, like, bro, my strategies with this character are cheese. Like, I'm after imaging, freaking I'm resetting you with after image. So basically, you can't get out unless you super counter me twice. I'm going sparking. I'm doing all sorts of shit with this character. So I don't take this character to quick play mostly. Like the last video I posted was my base super boo. I basically just start from base to prevent myself from basically just cheesing, because this character is the one I use for ranked. So I don't play him on quick play. And in fact, I don't play ranked anymore for the same reason. It's just like not fun right now. Not until they fix the sweep resets and basically the sidestep revenge counter BS. Like, I don't like this version of the game when you take it to a ranked setting. Now in quick play, it's fun to play because you could employ all sorts of like different strategies and throw hands any way you want. But when you take it to a competitive level, it's just like not really that fun for me, honestly.
I don't have no problem with it, but please, bro, like, just all the normal people just come to quick match, bro. Just go to quick match so we can all have fun and not have to deal with gay shit, bro. Like, only thing I don't really agree with him. Only thing I don't really agree with is the fact that you think the Z-Burst dash should be 2 key bars, and the fact that you think the explosive wave should be 3 stock and revenge counter. That's a no go. I ain't gonna lie.
Now, as far as the Z-Burst dash, I'm okay with Z-Burst dashing being 2. I don't prefer it to be 2. I would prefer it to be less. I would actually prefer it to be 1.5 bars, like you mentioned. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm okay with it being 2. Like, 2 is okay. In my opinion, it's not the best. But, you know, because they implemented that fix of being able to fast charge the first 2 bars, basically it kind of mediated what was wrong with it. But I would prefer it to be 1.5. I agree with you there. And as far as the revenge counter, I agree with you also. 2 skill points is okay. I just went too far in the video. But explosive wave, I am putting my foot down. It needs to be 3 skill points. I'm tired of explosive wave. But you know, that's just
no
each other all the time.
Everything else you said in this video definitely spot on. And when it comes to the tracking, I think the tracking was really just I think that's a bug, bro. Because it's impossible. Because put it like this. Not only is the tracking messed up, you literally go through niggas' bodies. So that has to be a bug, bro. But yeah, like he said, bro, y'all let me know down in the comment section below what y'all think, bro. Let me go to his comments and see what they.
I want to give a huge shout out to DonCoolio for reacting to my video, man. You know, shout out to you. And let me know in the comments if you think I'm right about just the movement of this game, the tracking of this game just being better overall beforehand. In my opinion, it was just more fun, more offensive gameplay, and that is why people like the game. And then once they got rid of those things, they basically killed the player base, if we're going to be honest. Like, you notice, once they started patching the game and making it more defensive, people stopped playing the game as much. And it's just overall just created a more boring gameplay style. Even competitively, it was more fun back then, more offensive style. And I would like a return to that. The problem is, if they change it again, then it's just another change that we got to get used to, and more bugs are going to be implemented into the game. So honestly, maybe we need it to slow down. Maybe we need to keep it kind of the same for a little bit and just rebalance the game in different ways. Maybe add some more gameplay modes, more content to it, and just leave the gameplay loop alone for a while, because all these patches are getting a little excessive and they just break more shit than they fix. So let's just keep the game the same for a while. But if they do ever want to have a comprehensive patch to make the game more fun, I would like combo tracking to be better, so that we could go back to a more similar playstyle like this. Okay. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and like, sub, wait for the next one, and peace out.